Well, welcome to day number 165. Yeah, celebrate 165 days in a row we've been here. Hard to believe. And we have a very special guest to celebrate with us, Scott Tallman Powers. Scott, welcome.
Thanks. Thanks so much, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Tell everybody where you are.
I'm in Kalispell, Montana.
Okay.
Up in the northwest Montana.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Scott and I were just talking about how lovely it is to be in these quiet places where there's not a lot of people, and
yeah, I know.
Get out in the mountains and paint. We're connecting. And so, Scott, we went to the last time we saw each other in person. We were, I won't mention a name because I don't want to create a flurry of issues for him, but we had a friend of ours who invited us to basically a hunting week, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not a hunter, so I just bought took the hunting clothes, and I think I painted and took pictures. But there were about 10 artists, I guess, and
yeah,
we just we painted together for a week. We had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I have good memories. Good memories.
Yeah, they were great memories. So, Scott, tell everybody a little bit about what you do and what kind of art you do, because we got people watching from all over the world, people who are new to you, new to me, and it's a great chance to tell people what you do.
Okay. I can kind of start from the beginning. I went to the American Academy of Art in Chicago for 4 years and studied there and at the Palette and Chisel in Chicago as well. And so I started out as a landscape painter and cityscape painter, but I went to school for the figure. And so I always wanted to incorporate both of them. So I just kind of ended up getting to a place where I was traveling a lot, and I was inspired by different cultures, and that's most of what I paint these days is traveling to different countries to paint the cultures. And I still love landscape painting and cityscape painting, and I try to do a lot of it. So this is just an example of let's see, that's one from Oaxaca, Mexico. So yeah, so that's one that I'm finished up.
Isn't that where Christensen lives, Oaxaca?
Oaxaca?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No? Okay. I may have it wrong. All right. Well, what are you going to talk about today? What are you going to do for us?
Well, with the video that we're going to be showing later with Life in the Market, I just wanted to show like a little demonstration on how to simplify chaotic scenes with a lot of people and things. So I just kind of give you an idea on how I kind of abstract things and kind of pull people out of the abstraction, and also to kind of give you an idea. A lot of times where I start a lot of my paintings, I start with like an abstraction a lot of times. So I do a lot of these types of no-tan type things.
Yeah.
And so I don't really have anything in mind whenever I'm doing some of these. And some of these I can see like an abstraction that gives me an idea for a painting that might work for a subject.
Can you hold that up to the camera so we can see it? And why is it to use different colors, greens and purples and so on, reds? Is it just because does it inform you in a different way?
Well, my idea was I was trying to make my mind think differently, and whenever I was using a different color, I may feel different about the shapes. And I don't know if it works or not, but that's what I like to experiment with, and kind of always keeping my mind guessing and trying to get a stronger abstract.
Okay.
So, and I really love abstractions, and so I do them in acrylic and oils and in the sketchbook, and just try to expand my mind to be a stronger designer in my work. So and these things really help to kind of have it gives me the freedom to change things whenever I'm out painting a landscape or a cityscape. I will design it the way I want it based on what I'm seeing, and these types of things help me to be a stronger designer, I guess.
So I think some people will look at a painting like the one on your easel, and they'll say, Well, that's very representational. Where's the abstraction in that? Can you just, while it's on the easel, can you kind of point
Yeah.
that out so people could see how that abstraction works? The best way, by the way, is point to your painting, because if you try to do it while looking at the camera, it'll feel
Oh,
back.
yeah. Yeah, true, true. Okay, so you see these large shapes right in here, you know? You see that? Can you see
Yep.
that? Yeah, so that would be like my large dark shape. I had a large dark shape over here because I put this dark shape over in here because there was too much weight over here with the darks, and so it needed to have a dark mass over here. And I didn't want to put like a water bowl or anything else over here that would distract from whatever the storyline would be. And so I just needed a shadow coming across here, which makes sense with the light direction. And so that's how I think of it, like a light dark pattern. My instructor, Ted Miscavige at the Academy, would have me go to the Art Institute after school every day when I was going to the palette chisel. And so I would do these notans just with a marker, and I would just abstract all the paintings that I liked in the museum. And so it's just kind of getting myself conditioned for design. And so does that make sense whenever I'm
Yeah.
explaining
The
that?
other thing I noticed when you were pointing it out, if you were to lay your pointer on the line right above the tire, okay, right, the red and the black. Okay, it's pointing to the man.
Yeah.
And then if you lay your pointer on the line of the tree branch coming out, it's pointing to the man. You know, is that all very intentional, or was that are you trying to draw attention to as he your focal point?
Yeah, he is definitely my focal point because he's bringing a bridle to put on the horse, and him and his son are going to take the watermelons to market. So he's bringing a new bridle to to put on the horse, and so I do think a lot about that on where my placement of my center of interest is going to be, and so directional lines like this definitely help tremendously. And
Now,
I think about it.
Now, I would imagine that that's not the same as the photographic reference, is it? Or is
No,
there?
no, it was really junky in the background. It was not good. It was really there was a chain link fence behind it, and it was bad. This, the horse looked beautiful. I loved all that stuff that was going on in the scene, and so I put the boy in there, and because a lot of times I'll see a story whenever I'm traveling, and then I will make notes of it in my sketchbook that I like what was going on with the story, and then I'll piece it all together into a piece to recreate a story based on what I saw in person.
Great.
So,
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to drop you off for a second. You're going to get your camera set up for your demo, and then I'll make a couple of announcements, and we'll see you in a minute.
okay, great. Thanks.
That's fascinating. What a treat today to have Scott Tallman Powers. I mean, he has got such a great reputation, has become a legend, and so you're very fortunate to have him today. Scott will be on at 3:00 today. He will be our daily video each day. We're giving a sample of videos so that you can have something to, as I say, keep your head in the game, right? The idea is to keep you from being distracted from all the bad stuff that's going on. You might read my Sunday Coffee this morning. If you haven't read it, it's something that I do every Sunday morning. I get up Sunday mornings and write these, and it's coffeewitheric.com. And just go ahead and get it and read today's, because it kind of talks about what's going on in the world in kind of my own way. And it's coffeewitheric.com. So today at 3:00, Scott is going to be showing us, we're going to show a piece of the video of him making this painting. And it is essentially called Life in the Market. It's an early Lilidol video. It was done a few years back. This, you'll get a chance to see him painting this today. And of course, today he's going to do a demo. He's also got another fabulous video called The Trapper, where he does a beautiful portrait. And so, and these were done quite a while back. I'm anxious to see what Scott does on today. This is the last video he did with us, which is called City Scene. And it's basically how to simplify and create a story with a a city scene. And so that's some of what you're going to see if you hang around. All right, I've got a couple things for you. I've got a gift for you. You ready for this? All right, get a pen and a paper, or better yet, just get ready to do a screenshot. So this is the latest issue of Fine Art Connoisseur, and I love this image. I love the image because it really it tells a story about what's going on in our lives today. It's a fabulous image. And of course, the magazine's available digitally and in print. And I'm going to actually give you guys a digital issue today. I hope that would be helpful for you. But here, I'm going to give you a link, and it's kind of a weird link. So take a picture of it. But if you take this link, you'll actually get a full issue of Fine Art Connoisseur. This particular issue, by the way, through some special distribution and so on, this issue went out to 400,000 people. Yes, 400,000 people. And these are not just random people. These are art people. And so you can get a copy of this one. We wanted to give extra distribution to our advertisers this month because of COVID and help them out. And so the website is https. I'm not going to read it. It's too crazy, but take a screenshot of it, or somebody maybe will take a screenshot and put it in the comments. That would be really helpful. But you get a free copy of it. If you're anywhere in the world, you can, of course, download it and see all the magazine, get a sample of the magazine. It'd be good for you. All right. Now, yesterday, I kind of told a fib. And the reason I told a fib is yesterday I said we were going to give away a digital copy of Fine Art Connoisseur magazine or plein air. I'm not sure which one it was, as a prize. I made a digital subscription. But when I was done yesterday, yesterday we had Todd Casey on the show, and Todd Casey was talking about his book and The Art of the Still Life, which is now out of print, and they're trying to get new ones printed. It's hard to get it. Anyway, he said, Eric, would you like me to give away a copy of the book? I said, yes, absolutely. So instead of your prize being a digital copy of Plein Air magazine or a digital subscription to Plein Air magazine, we're giving away the book, and the winner is Nita Legger Casey from Maine. Nita Legger Casey from Maine. Congratulations. If you will reach out to me, make sure that you reach out to me. I'll make sure that Todd gets the information. He said he had a couple books at home and he could ship you one. And so you're getting it. It's a $40 value. By the way, that book should be a $100 book. It's thick. He said he ended up making it 100 pages more than he was supposed to, and they went ahead and ran it because it was so good. And so anyway, that's a terrific book. And thank you again to Todd Casey for yesterday. Today's prize, after all, will be a Plein Air magazine digital subscription. So the way you can do that is leave a comment. And we are asking people all over the world to tell us where you're from, including the States. And even if you've done it before, it's nice to know where you're from. You don't have to do that. We'll randomly pick from the comments. And remember, you could be making comments on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. And so we have a dashboard that gets all the comments in one place. And then Christina will pick a comment and a winner for tomorrow. So tomorrow you'll get a Plein Air magazine digital subscription. And remember, Plein Air magazine is the #1 selling art magazine in America. Barnes & Noble's #1 seller in the art and photography category. And in the digital edition, we put 20% more content than we do in the print edition because we have unlimited space in the digital. So that's something you'll be getting. So a reminder today at 3 o'clock, Scott Tallman Powers is going to be doing Life in the Market. I want to tell you guys about Realism Live. Realism Live is a conference that we're doing online, and it's a full realism conference. Realism meaning you can tell what it is. It's not essentially modern abstract type of painting, although there is abstraction, of course, as we'll talk about today in our paintings. But the pre-conference rate now expires on the 30th of this month. You can save $200. We've already got about 1,200, maybe over 1,200 people signed up now. And it's a great opportunity to learn a lot of different disciplines. Now, just to give you a feel for this, we have a world-class faculty at Realism Live. We have Graydon Parrish. We have Josh LaRock, Rose Franson, Daniel Sprick, Juliet Aristides, Daniel Gerhardt. All these people are teaching, doing demos, showing you different things. Victoria Herrera, Florence Academy's Daniel Graves, founder of the Florence Academy. This is a rare appearance. Jeff Legg, Kathy Odom, Kathy Anderson, Connor Walton, William Schneider, Tony Sirenai, Mark D'Alessio, Jean Stern, Stefan Bauman, Cornelia Hearns, Todd Casey, who you saw yesterday, and Jesus Emmanuel Villarreal. And there are more who will be added, and it's Realism Live, and it's October 21 through 24, and it's all online, so you can do it from the safety of your home, and you want to block out the time, just like if you were traveling to a convention. And if you were traveling to our figurative art convention, which we are using this to replace this year because we don't have it this year, and this year we've added still life painting, landscape painting, floral painting, and other disciplines, not only just figure and portrait. And so if you were to go to the conference, get your ticket, get a plane ticket across the country, get a rental car, pay for your meals and so on, you might spend $2,000-$3,000 easily, and it's worth it. But this will give you the experience. And we have a lot of people who attended our plein air live who actually said to us, you know, we were in a situation we could never travel because of our families or our situations or our age or our financial situation or whatever. But this is a bargain because it's about 10% of what you would normally pay to spend to go to something like that. So it's Realism Live, and you want to get signed up because at some point we'll have to cut off attendance. This is going to be October 21 through 24. And like I said, there's already 1,200 people registered. So get signed up for that right away, and I think you will enjoy it. I guarantee it. As a matter of fact, I have a 100% money back guarantee on this thing because I know that you need to know that if you don't love it, you can get your money back. So here's my deal. If you attend, if you watch the whole first day, if by the end of the first day you don't love it and you just don't think you want to attend anymore, we'll cut the cord. You won't have to watch the rest of it, but we will give you your full money back, and you will have gotten the first day for free. So that's a beautiful thing. And we offered that last time. Nobody took us up on it. So you're welcome to take us up on it. We want to make sure you're happy. And so that's Realism Live, and go to realismlive.com. A mention to you that we are, a lot of you are discovering us for the first time. Even yesterday, brand new people from a lot of different countries around the world. This is spreading because you guys keep hitting this and sharing. And when you make comments and you share, it helps other people discover it. And so we are a passionate company of artists. I'm an artist. I love art, and I love to create things for artists to make your life better. Somebody called me, it's like I'm Walt Disney for artists, right? So I don't think that's quite true, but I'm not building a theme park, I promise. But the idea is that the plein air convention, the figurative art convention, they're like really cool things to go to for artists, as are things like Fall Color Week and the Adirondacks. And we have videos that we produce. We have marketing things we produce, training, products, podcasts, art marketing podcasts, plein air podcasts. We have a lot of different things that we do, including a TV channel on Amazon, Roku, and Apple TV, where we have lots of information for artists and lots of artist videos. We have the magazines, we have newsletters, books, and so on. So there's a lot. So if you're new to us and you want to see everything we do, just go streamlinepublishing.com/everything. And no, I have no idea how we get it all done. All right. So now we're going to go back to Scott Tallman Powers and bring him back in. And Scott, what have you got here?
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I have here, what I have here is just an example from one of my trips to China. I was going to try to show you guys just an example on how to simplify some chaotic scenes in the background and with your main subject. And so I kind of drew it out in charcoal last night to just kind of speed things up a little bit. But also whenever I'm doing a painting like this, something I'm always aware of on the canvas is like where my eye level is, and I like to put that in there pretty early on.
So how do you determine that?
Well, I'm standing right up against this woman when I was taking this shot. So I was probably about right, my eye level is probably about right there, most likely.
And typically from a perspective standpoint, the eyes of the persons that you're photographing are typically at eye level as well, unless they're, of course, up a hill or down a hill.
Well, at yours, yeah. And
your eye level, yeah.
Yeah. So, so this was all flat ground. So if it was really hilly in here, there'd be some other things that I'd have to adjust for. But it reminds me to keep all the people kind of above the eye level and below the eye level, for tall people, short people, to make it more realistic. And so I will just be painting that as a large shape and kind of break it up later as I need to, and pull these people out of there. So I guess I'll be painting right through these folks, and then just kind of pull them out of the abstraction as I need them to support the main figure.
Now, can you explain your composition here? If what are you trying to accomplish?
Okay, so my focal point is right in here with this woman making her selection with her the bananas that she's about to purchase, and I just love market scenes because they're so chaotic, but they have such there's so many stories going on at once, and so if you can take like a little quiet moment like this when she's just going about her business and getting her groceries for her family. I love these little quiet moments, and I try to capture that with the camera whenever I'm in, whenever I'm traveling to these places. But I've painted in the market a lot too, and painting in the market is a whole nother animal where you have to kind of like calm your mind and just kind of watch for the patterns, and people, the people, especially the proprietors, they do a lot of the same things over and over again, and so. You just have to calm your mind whenever you're out there painting from life, and just let everybody just kind of run right through your painting and just pick the ones out as you need them,
So the temptation I would have is I'd be drawing in all those people behind her back. Is that something that you'll put in later, or is that something you just want to you just put some energy in there? What will you do there?
Right. So I'm always a lot of times I'll even write myself a note to everything is subordinate to her, to the main subject. And so if I put these two people in over here with the little kid, I might only put one person over here. It all depends. And I'll create more abstract shapes over here to kind of represent the people. So a lot of times what you can do is if you explain one person in a scene like this, but you put similar shapes in the background, it will kind of like it will kind of trick the eye to make it believe that there's a sea of people back there because you've already explained it to the viewer in like the middle ground right there. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it can look like a whole ton of people, but it's a lot of just abstract shapes that are similar shapes to this woman that represents a person.
Yeah. Okay. Now, tell us quickly about your palette. It's very rare that we see somebody put their palette up on their easel like that.
Yeah. Well, this is just for you guys. I don't usually paint like this, but I wanted you guys to see what I was doing.
All right. I didn't know if you did that regularly or not.
No, not often. Every once in a while, I might do something like that just to mix things up. But my glass palette's underneath this wood thing that I built just to kind of cover my my tabaret. But I just have a alizarin crimson here, and I have a naphthol red here, and a cadmium orange, and a cadmium yellow, and then I have my titanium white, and yellow ochre, burnt umber, raw umber, sap green, and ultramarine blue. And then I have like a Portland gray over here just for convenience sake. And then I have a gray that I mix from like old tubes. All of us have tons of half tubes everywhere. So I'll tube a lot of them myself and kind of change them up. And then I can just use them as a convenience color. So, and then I have, for my little medium here, I just have a Neo Megope from Gamblin. So, and because I really like things to dry, pretty quickly. and especially with all of our deadlines that we gotta have things kind of dry pretty fast to layer up. But so that's my palette, and I change a lot of things too. I don't use the same colors all the time. A lot of times to change things up, just to kind of, just kind of scramble my brains to make me think differently. Put a violet on the palette, or ivory black, and so there's a lot of things I change. But like with this painting right here, I had the idea of having more like kind of gray, yellow, oranges with more of this gray blue. So it's kind of a complementary harmony, and I was going to make the background in here more of kind of a grayer violet, kind of a blue violet, and then make it a little bit more impressionistic with the temperature, but keeping the values close together back there, because I really love it whenever there's so much atmosphere as it goes back, and all the values are so close together, but it still represents a busy scene.
Right.
And yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and start. Is that okay?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with her first. And a lot of times, no matter what I'm painting, a lot of times I like to get my darkest darks and lightest lights and my strongest color in there. It kind of gives me my borders on how to key my painting. And so I'm just going to start.
Somebody asked a question. They said, it's typically we've been kind of taught not to put our subjects dead center in the painting, but you've kind of done that here. What's your thinking?
Yeah. So the dead center is right here, and so balancing it out so it can appear that it's not in the dead center once the weight of your masses starts to get in here.
I see.
So you can take it off just a little bit.
Right.
And
so you actually had a mark where dead center is. I see those marks now on both sides.
Yeah, I try to avoid those things. So I had her moved over where her jacket was hitting right in here, and I didn't like the way this was cropped off to the side. It was bugging me, and so this little area right in here, what she's selecting is off center, and even though this appears to be pretty dang close, but I can make it appear to where it's not dead center. And a lot of times I might do that on purpose, where I'll just put it in the center and change things around it to make it feel like it's
right.
It's not dead center, and to create some sort of tension. So there's a lot of ways of handling that. Okay. Let me just get some of these darks in here.
You typically start out with a fan brush?
I have for the past year or two. I like the marks it makes and the unpredictability a lot of times, and I can change it like sideways and then go more precise.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that.
We just did a video with the Russian master Nikolai Blokhin, and I was surprised, and he said the same thing. He says, I've recently switched to doing almost everything with a fan brush. He almost did the entire painting with a fan bruch because he was able to do so much more with it.
Oh man, yeah, I know. Yeah, and I've seen Stephen Azell, New York painter. He uses the fan brush a lot as well.
Yeah, he slams that paint against the canvas.
Oh,
he makes it fly off that brush.
Yeah, I really want to take a workshop with that guy bad.
I took one. It was fascinating. I want to take another. He's brilliant.
Yeah. I've heard he's such a really kind, nice person too.
He's very sweet.
Yeah, and so
he's a very giving guy.
Yeah, he seems like it. Yeah. So one of these days I'll take one of his workshops. But I cannot wait to get Nikolai's video big time, because I really admire that guy.
Well, we brought him. A lot of people didn't know who he was. We brought him into the FACE conference last year, and people were going up asking for his autograph afterwards because they just were so blown away by his painting ability.
Yeah. I've been following him for quite a few years, And
You know, when you teach at that academy in Russia, I mean, that's the best of the best.
oh, big time, big time. Yeah, actually, I have one of his drawing books. It should be in the mail. I mean, it should be coming to my house anytime now.
Yeah. He
Um,
gave me a drawing when we were in Russia. When we finished the sheet, he went to his desk and pulled out a drawing and gave it to me. I was just blown away.
oh man, yeah, that would be a dream to have one of his drawings.
His wife is an amazing painter too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
His wife is paints very much like Bouguereau, you know, very classically, academically.
Oh wow. Yeah, is there a place where someone could see her work?
Yeah, well, I'll have to find it and talk about it. I took a lot of photos of it.
Oh man, yeah, I would love to see that. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of poster like, painting in these shapes, and and uh, and then I can actually compare to my foreground here. Um, so I can mix up my background tones to relate to this.
Right.
Yeah.
You ought to go to Russia with us. We're going in a year from now, and we'll go see Blokhin in the studio.
Oh, I got to talk to you about that then.
Yeah.
That's a dream of mine to go over
It's
there.
an amazing place to paint. There's so much history.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And with Repin and all those guys in the
Yeah.
museum.
Well, we discovered a place where Repin, Shishkin, Serov, a bunch of the others, Levitan, they went. It was a kind of a summer retreat for artists. And the last day we were there, we discovered it. Andrei Lysenko, our friend over there, took us. He lives nearby. And all these scenes that you've seen these famous paintings of were all around us. And so we're going to go there and paint for a day. It's going to be fun.
Oh yeah. You guys are gonna have a blast with that. All the scenes of Leviton painted and all that.
Oh, yeah. And we're talking about the possibility of doing a workshop with Jove Wang at the Fashion Museum where we paint and copy the fashions. I don't know if that'll happen, but we're talking about that too.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Okay, so I'm trying to, kind of help myself out here by making more accurate decisions related to the foreground, and so I'm kind of getting my bearings here with the block end, and so having like a darker shape right here where she's choosing those bananas, and I'm going to lighten up these areas back in here to where she pops out, and so I'm trying to step my way through the painting here, and because you see there's a lot of chaos in here, and see these dark areas where their heads are,
Right.
Competing a little bit too much. So I'm going to compress these values by compressing, meaning bringing them together a little bit more and pushing them a little bit higher in value to where she pops out a lot more. And I do that a lot in my paintings, to where I will take a scene like this and I will purposefully make a lot of these mixtures lighter, and so the main figure pops out a lot more, and it'll create a lot more atmosphere, and kind of expresses the story a lot clearer, and so I'm constantly making those decisions, and so I learned a lot from Zhui Tu, Zhui Tu,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, and a Chinese artist, and he took us over to China and to paint there years ago, and I learned so much from him and all of his friends over there, and
Some good painters there.
excellent painters. And
Well, it's it all turned out to be rooted in Russia because they did the cultural exchange.
yeah,
And so the Russians came over to China to teach them to paint, and a lot of them went over to Russia to learn to paint.
yeah, that's what they were telling me over there, and I was so impressed. And we went to some of the schools that they had over there in Guangzhou and in Beijing, and and these young kids were doing like professional level work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it.
They've got a massive plein air movement going on over there too. Most of it's watercolor.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was mostly watercolor, but you know, there's a lot of oil painters that we painted with.
Oh yeah. I was supposed to go over there in April. Good thing I didn't go.
Yeah, no kidding. I know that would have been bad, but I can't wait to get back over there someday when everything calms down.
Well, part of why I was going over is I was getting ready to plan a trip to China
Hmm.
and take a bunch of painters over there, take them around to different sites.
Oh yeah, yeah. That place is an amazing place to paint, and the people are so sweet. They're so kind, and I just loved it. And they were very generous. You know, I sat in a family's home in this little tiny village that Joy uh, uh, took us to,
Yeah.
and they shared their potatoes these purple potatoes that they were cooking in the fire, and it was great. You know, I'd give them a power bar, and they would give me a purple potato. So I just
Well, and that's really meaningful because they have so little, and oftentimes.
they you know they were extremely happy about you know, living the way they lived up in the mountains there, and gave me a lot of perspective, you know. So,
Yeah.
you know, thinking about, you know, my issues kind of paled in comparison, and just try to find the happiness in the simple things. Okay. All right. So I was going a little bit too dark right there, and I wanted to balance that out. And so I'm trying to think purely abstractly here, you know, trying to just feel the shapes and how they balance out. And I will start breaking those things up as I go.
Uh-huh.
But let's see. Okay, I want her head. See how her values on her face kind of get too close to that values right in here.
Yeah.
I want this to be lighter, and so, you know, I'm not going to paint her the way she is in the photograph. I don't like her facing that direction anyway. And so I want to put this in here a little lighter so I can pull out that contour of her face. Also behind her too, but she has like a little dark spot that's right on her. It's right on her hair.
I used to have a little dark spot too, but my dark spot is now white.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that's what it's like with my beard. My beard or my facial hair turned like salt and pepper pretty quick. Okay.
I started going gray when I was about 40.
Oh man, I started earlier than that. Back whenever the hair on my head decided to take off.
It was the stress of living in Chicago.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had crazy times there, but what a great city that place is.
Oh, it's fabulous.
Yeah, yeah, I really love it there. I miss a lot of my friends, and but it was a great place to go to school. A great place to paint. Painting on the streets there was pretty incredible.
So did you miss the Schmid era at Palette and Chisel, or were you there for part of that?
That was before me, but like whenever I would go to the Palette and Chisel, I took some workshops with Scott Burdick,
Yeah.
and so I took some life drawing workshops from him and learned a ton. And he was always so generous.
Yeah.
With his teaching, and so but yeah, but you know, Richard came and did some demonstrations at the Palette and Chisel, so I got to see that, but I never was able to take classes with him, and I wish I was able to. That would have been fantastic.
I got a couple of chances to paint with him. That was fun. And he did my portrait.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was great. It probably was, amazing to sit down and just talk with him.
He's also a very generous man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and there's so many fantastic artists that he taught, over the years.
And so many he's inspired.
Oh yeah, big time. Okay, so I'm still just kind of thinking in larger shapes here, and I can go back into these like middle tones, and pop some darks and lights as well. So I didn't want to exhaust all my values.
Yeah.
So let's see. I need to get that hat kind of blocked in here a little bit. And so whenever I place that in, I'm looking at the value first, relationship between here and here. And I don't like the, it's too muddy of a color. So I need to spruce it up a little bit.
I'm just thinking, I love my job. Just watching you guys. So much fun.
Oh man, I can't believe you've been going so long, and you've been doing great. I just can't believe it. That's some tenacity.
I have nothing else to do.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot of great things you're bringing to people. So I appreciate that.
I love doing it. It's a lot of fun to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. With these fan brushes, I like that it just immediately breaks up an edge, because it really drives me crazy to have like a mark that looks like the shape of the brush. I don't know why it bugs me so much. I'm always like messing with it to make it more organic looking. And let's see. And so I have tools that I'll show you too that I use to kind of obliterate that, obliterate the shapes and kind of abstract them a little bit more. Okay, so get that on. Get this on there.
I like how you just scooped up that paint.
Yeah, just try to see. I have to make notes to myself. I want to use more paint, less medium, all these different things. We all make notes to ourselves, and so because over the years, I don't know what the heck happened to me. I started painting thinner for some reason, and because I was painting a lot thicker years ago, and I don't know what happened. So I started making a conscious effort to paint thicker because I enjoyed it more. I liked what I was doing whenever I could see the juiciness in the paint.
See, what I like what you're doing there is that you're really using the paintbrush more like a rubber stamp than a a brush stroke, so to speak. Just kind of lay the edge of that on and just touch it.
Right. Yeah. And just make the mark and then stand back and kind of check it out and see how it looks. And let's see. Let me get some of those melons in there.
You got about 10, 12 minutes left.
Oh, 10, 12 minutes left?
Yeah. No pressure.
Yeah. Oh, crap. Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do my best. I probably should have picked an easier subject. So
Well, you don't have to finish the whole thing. You might just finish whatever area you think you wanted.
Yeah. Like right in this little area, but you're
and then you can post the finished painting later.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. I could definitely do that. Because I kind of liked how things were laid out in this one, so I was kind of inspired to keep continuing on after the little demo here. Yeah, because in my mind's eye, I see a lot of like thick, chunky paint with more refined
Yeah.
brushwork right in here,
Yeah.
and have a lot of this stuff more sculptural. And as it starts to get back up into here as well, and all these other parts will be a lot thinner. And but you know, these things take me a while. It's really hard for me to, you know, just bust it out.
Yeah. Well, it's not something that most of us do, you know, so it's a lot
Yeah.
of pressure also doing it on camera.
Oh yeah, yeah, big time, big time. But I'm trying to get the hang of this whole thing with this the Zoom stuff and these cameras, and so yeah, any kind of feedback, I would appreciate it because I'm trying to get better at it.
You're doing great.
Okay, thanks. But is this in focus? Is it clear?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay, good. Because I had to get another little camera to attach to this thing so I didn't want to have my main computer so much in my face, you know, right behind me. Oh, God, I forgot one thing. Um, okay, see this? See this right here?
Yeah.
This is kind of the idea that I had with that, you know, that basic abstraction.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of did a few of them to kind of represent that scene, you know, and so this helps me kind of navigate my way through an abstract pattern in a complicated scene. I keep looking back at these things, and it reminds me to simplify, you know, and not to get wrapped up in all the details.
And our mind will fill in the blanks.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I love. Whenever I go to museums, I mean, I wanna have something to do when I'm looking at a painting, something to explore and something to imagine. And so it's important for me whenever I'm looking at work. So I'm trying to get better at that with my own work. So it gives people something to explore. And that's what I think that Nikolai's work is so good at because he leaves a lot of things vague,
Yeah.
and so your imagination can go in there and explore a little bit.
Yeah. He doesn't talk a lot. He doesn't like to talk and paint, but I didn't need him to, man. I just watching him, I was picking up so many ideas.
Yeah, well, it's hard to talk and paint. I mean, as everyone knows, man, it's not easy. I used to be better at it years ago, but you know, disappearing into the woods for many years, I have to, you know, practice a lot more with it.
Had to learn to talk in general.
I know. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and also I pay close attention to these like spaces like this.
Yeah.
I avoid the center parts of these types of things. And whenever I look at the spaces all the way around, and I'll take my dividers that I have, and I'll go into places like in areas like this, and I'll avoid that center part, and try to balance my masses, and also I keep turning my canvas a lot too to kind of see how my abstraction is balancing out before
Yeah.
I've taken it to another level. Because if I don't do that and I lose the strength of my abstraction, then my painting will start to devolve in a way, in the you know, that whole abstract pattern will start to get too broken up with smaller shapes that are values that shouldn't be in those areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
All right. I'm going to give you a 7-minute mark.
wow, man, this is tough.
Yeah, I know.
I hope that everyone who's watching, they kind of
Oh, they're loving it. As a matter of fact, everybody needs to be hitting the thumbs up button right now and give him some love.
yeah, much appreciated.
So one of the things I'm curious about is that you know, you've got what Camille Prozwadek would call a mud head right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's just,
I guess
and one thing I always struggle with when I take it from that stage, is
Mhm.
do I want to just keep the shape in there, or am I going to put some ears and earrings and eyeballs and noses and mouths in there? Am I going to do something that, you know,
Yeah.
because it tends to look too detailed if I do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like right in here, I want to put a little bit of a shape of the muscles around the mouth right in there, obviously with her lips, and a little touch of the shadow underneath her nose, and just a little bit of a touch of her eyelash right there on the ridge right there in the brim, and a touch for her the back of her ear right in there. And you don't have to put that much. I mean, that earring is pretty important for me. It kind of gives me an idea of like her personality a little bit.
Yeah, pull some light in too.
Yeah, pull some light in, and I like little touches like that whenever I'll be in a scene where, um, you know, a woman may be wearing a type of jewelry that was unexpected, but it gives me an idea of something about what she's like personally, even though I'm just photographing in the market.
Yeah.
And so I can imagine what she's like.
Here's a comment from Cheryl Akers that says, Scott, you have no idea how much you are helping us all at this very moment. Thank you for sharing and giving us a reason to grow ourselves with your encouragement.
Oh, thanks. That's
That
very
made
nice.
it all worthwhile.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, and also these types of things. These are the tools that I was mentioning. A friend of mine, Larry Moore, told me about this one, the knockdown knife.
Yeah.
It's that kind of a foam thing. And
Yeah.
whenever I get a little bit more paint on the canvas, I'll move the paint around with this thing, and then bring some of the temperatures and things together and keep wiping it off. I put this thing through a circular saw to kind of make it a different shape,
Yeah.
smaller shape. But I also use these rubber things, and I'll cut them in
They look
different.
like erasers.
Oh, what's that?
It looks like an eraser almost.
Yeah, but it's kind of a thick rubber. I just
Yeah.
got it off Amazon. But then it'll help me kind of solidify my abstracts and then be able to build off of it. And then if I get too much paint on, then I'll put it on there and take like a little brayer and pull the paint off a little bit, and
Oh,
then
nice.
go back into it and stuff like that. So, and also that pink stuff that you get at Home Depot, you can cut that stuff in all kinds of shapes. And once there's more paint on there, this becomes more beneficial.
Oh, cool.
So anything to make us think a little bit different,
Yeah. Doesn't all have to be brushes. It can be paper towel. It can be
Yeah,
Sometimes I'll pull a stick or something out of the woods just to create an effect.
yeah, you can do anything like that. And I just like that a lot. A good friend of mine who's a really excellent painter, he told me that he would use um, uh, matchbook, the old matchbooks where you can rip them up and it's like a little cardstock.
Yeah.
He would paint like grass and things into his work.
Toothpicks work great too.
Yeah, toothpicks. Yeah.
Especially the thick kind, the kind that have wedges. Charlie Hunter uses those a lot, and he uses credit cards.
Oh yeah, credit cards are awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta check out Charlie's work on his techniques.
Yeah.
He's a great painter. Okay. I mean, granted, if I had more time, I would be really slowing down a lot.
Yeah, of course. Well, why don't we do this? So, because we're going to wrap up here in a couple minutes, and then if you would be willing to go on to this Facebook page where we started out and post it in the comments, that would be really helpful. Once you've finished it up, whenever that happens to be.
Once I finish it, okay, I'll definitely do that. And hey, do you want me to put you back on the?
Yeah, sure. All right. So anyway, we're going to wrap up here in a second. This could go on. I wish we had a 2-hour broadcast or a 3-hour broadcast so we could do that. Yeah. While you were talking, I just wanted to show you something real quickly. This is Blachin's wife's work.
Oh.
And I don't know her name. I've got a book of her work somewhere.
Oh,
but I took that. It was sitting in his studio. That's his daughter and his niece, I think. And but the feet. Look at the feet, the curled up feet.
Oh, I know. I would love to see that in person.
That's huge. It's a big painting. It's almost life size.
Yeah. Oh my God, such good form. Good
Yeah.
form. Yeah.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for doing this today. You're a real treat for us, and it's a pleasure that you would take a Sunday and give us some of your time. And I
Oh,
know everybody's grateful. Thumbs up and applause from all of us.
yeah, and thanks so
Um,
much for everyone tuning in too. I appreciate it.
yeah, yeah, and today at 3 o'clock, we're gonna be airing Scott's video in the market, um, Life in the Market, which is something that was produced several years ago. Scott also has two other videos with Lilidol, The Trapper, which is a portrait video, and The City Scene, which is the last one. That's the very last video that Lilidol released before they handed over the keys to us.
Oh, really?
And actually, I think actually it's the last one they produced, and it was the first one we released. So it's very monumental.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So thank you again for being on. Just hang on. I'm going to talk to you when I get done, and we're going to pull you off screen. But thank you so much. And
Thanks, Eric, and thanks for everybody at Streamline. I really appreciate this.
yeah, we love doing it. Thank you, Scott. Well, that was Scott Tallman Powers, and what a treat today. A reminder that I've got Fine Art Connoisseur for you, a free digital copy of this issue, which has got a distribution of about 400,000 so far. And I'm going to give you that today. If you copy down this link, just take a screenshot of that link, and then you can type it in later. I don't think you can click on it and make it work, but it depends. So that's for you today, and we love this issue. It's a big, thick issue, and it's our biggest advertising issue in the history of the magazine. How did that happen in the middle of all this? That's because we have a great team who just really got busy and got it done. So anyway, that's for you. I want to remind you guys that we have Realism Live, which is going to be deadlining. The $200 price increase ends on the 30th. And we've got a world-class lineup of artists, and you're going to love it. It's 4 days plus a fifth beginner's day, and absolutely some of the best artists in the world. So you want to make sure you get signed up for that at realismlive.com. And what else have I got? Look for Plein Air Magazine in Michael's stores now. They're open, and 278 of them are now carrying Plein Air, and it's the only art magazine that they are carrying from what we can tell. I went in the other day. There were no other art magazines. There were mostly consumer magazines, but we were the only art magazine. So they are obviously very interested in the Plein Air movement, and we would love it if you'd support it in there, because that helps us and it helps them. And of course, if they see results, they'll keep it in there. That never hurts. And a reminder that Scott and I'll talk to him off camera, but I'm taking a group of people to Russia. We're going to spend 2 weeks starting in St. Petersburg, ending up in Moscow, and going into the small towns in between, including the academic Dasha, which is where all the artists studied and learned. And we're going to be going to the Repin Institute, the great art schools in Moscow, and the Serkov Institute. I mean, Serkov in Moscow, Repin in St. Petersburg, including the Repin Museum and their cast collection, which is beyond belief. And you find out more about that at paintrussia.com. We don't have too many details there yet. I've got a group coming to the White Mountains. We're going to do it live and in person in October 12th through 19th. It looks like it's going to happen. And if you sign up and we have to cancel, we'll give you your money back, of course. So got a lot going on anyway. It feels like things are maybe going to return a little bit towards normal, and we can only hope and pray, right? It's been a pretty crazy time. So thank you for tuning in. A reminder also that the Plein Air Convention is going to be huge. It's going to be in Denver in May. And so you want to make sure you get signed up for that, because we don't know what we're going to face by then. So if you're in the first registration group, if we have to socially distance, you'll probably get in. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. I'm Eric Rhoads. Reminder to subscribe right there. If you're on YouTube, subscribe right there, because that helps us. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. We're at like 65, 68. And if you're not on YouTube, go there to youtube.com and go search Streamline Art Video and then hit subscribe. That would be a wonderful celebration for us. It would be really helpful for us. We appreciate it. We love the fact that you guys are tuning in every day. We love the Dreamliners. Yay, Dreamliners. That's a group that founded as a result of this. And I have a pile of probably 50 or 100 birthday cards. I'm trying to get through them. I was opening some this morning. Someone from Holland very generously sent me masks from Holland that have the girl with a pearl earring and the finch on them, and they're just beautiful. And so thank you everyone for your acknowledgement, your gifts, your cards. It's been really wonderful. Paintings, I've gotten some paintings. It's been very generous of everyone. So thank you for watching. I'm Eric Rhoads, publisher of Fine Art Connoisseur and Plein Air Magazine. Have a great day. Bye-bye.